Andrea here from createyourfuture.co. So today we have Carol joining us. Hi, Carol.
Hi, everybody.
Guys, so we have a really exciting video. We've got a couple mini success stories, and these success stories we're going to share them because they answer two important questions. So, what's a partial manifestation, or sort of like birds before land? And also, can you manifest more than one person? So those are the two main questions that we're going to answer. And we've got a couple success stories to sort of illustrate, and how, and then we'll go into answering those questions. So, yeah, so welcome, Carol.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Okay, so the first one, this is very interesting. She initially contacted us because she was, trying to manifest an SB, but she really, really wanted to work on her self-esteem, her self-concept. She was very aware that she was, shy or introverted, and she actually thought that that was a problem. And we worked a lot on those assumptions, and we worked on affirmations of self-concept and how do you want to show up in your own reality, which that is your choice as well. It's not just how others show up, but how you show up. And we started creating intentions of, I am beautiful, I'm amazing. I turn heads when I walk into a place. Men are drawn to me. I am pursued all the time. I'm constantly getting asked out. And she started focusing on that. And she had her affirmations about her SB as well. And she worked on that for about 2 weeks, and then she booked another session. And her reaction was hilarious, because then she was like, okay, I honestly don't know what to do with all this attention now. Like, I don't know what to do with all of this. I can't handle it. So it was...
I'm laughing because I've been there. I used to create that I'm a guide magnet, and like they would be everywhere, and I had to stop that. I was like, no, you know what? All guys respect me, and you know what? And they see me as a successful businesswoman and a great person, and they know I'm taken. I had to stop it. It was crazy. So I get it though.
Yes, and she kind of went through that process of, okay, a month ago it was like you could hear crickets, and now I have like 3 dates, and I don't know what to do with all of that. And she did go on 3 dates, and it just so happened that there was this one guy that she actually liked as well. And of course, now she has to choose between SB and the guy she just met, and which I think that's a very good position to be at.
Oh my goodness!
I get to choose now.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this, because the biggest question is, right, can you manifest more than one person at a time?
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
It's your reality.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. And it is, and you can date them for as long as you want, right? As long as you feel comfortable with and make the choice, because you can create it that you actually get to choose, and you have all these guys after you, and you get to choose which one wants to be, but you want to be with.
Exactly. And that's something that we worked on as well. You put yourself in that pedestal, and you get to pick from the bunch, and everybody's in the same boat. You don't single anybody out, because of course we had to get the SB situation, also included in, because I wanted her to think like he is just like everybody else. So she worked on that, and she was actually put in a situation where she actually had to choose. And I was like, just have fun with it, enjoy it, enjoy the attention, use that momentum, use what you have to continue creating and affirming who you are, because then when you get the attention from them, it's just going to be so obvious that you're not going to question it anymore. It's who you are now. And she's living it. She's
so awesome.
She's loving life.
I love it. And that's the beautiful thing, right? Is you get to choose what you want. Nothing's forever, or something can be forever. You get to choose that, right? I think sometimes we get stuck on something that we want so bad, right? maybe it's not working, or there is a lot of resistance. And sometimes taking the path of least resistance is the way to go. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, for instance, I mean, newsflash, Andrew's not my first boyfriend, right? In my whole life, right? So there has been other boyfriends, and you know what? It hasn't worked out with them because I've moved on. Not because I'm a failure in any way as a creator, but because I took the path of least resistance. I just wanted to be happy now, and so many things stacked up where it was like, okay, look, I'm just going to move on from this. This obviously isn't working the way that I'm trying to create it to work. And only because, sometimes we just need to start fresh. So, I want to put that out there because sometimes people feel like if they stop manifesting the person that they've been focusing on, that it's a complete waste, but it's not. But I'm not saying that you can't get them. You can get them. Like, you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's your choice. But don't ever think that changing your mind is a failure, because success and failure is only a judgment that you make on your own actions. There is no such thing as success and failure. Right? You get to create that meaning. So create everything as a success, right?
Exactly. And you put yourself in the situation, mentally, that you are the one that gets to choose in the end who you want to be with. And you create the choices. You are creating your own choices in your reality up here. That's amazing.
Right?
I mean, that's like amazing.
It is amazing. It is. And we're constantly doing it, We're constantly doing it. You know what? I intend to see the magic in my life today. I intend to really start to see how my thoughts create and how everyone is being pushed out today. Those are some great intentions. I actually seriously do want to see that today in my life. I do.
How about money growing on trees? Can I just step outside and manifest money growing on trees? That would be awesome. Like, if I can do
that. It's right. It does, actually. Money's made of paper. Paper is from trees. So I'm sorry, it does already.
Thank you. Okay, there you go.
Path of least resistance, right?
Yes.
But you meant it growing like fruit off of trees, right? So, I mean, but that's the path of least resistance, right? I remember, I was talking about time traveling, right? And one of my friends was like, well, you have a car, you time travel all the time. I was like, oh. I was like, okay. But that's not the way that, I was thinking about in the traditional way where you go and, a time machine and you go to another time, right? But really, I mean, in a sense, having a car, over walking or taking the bus is a time machine. You save time. You get somewhere faster than you would have. Silly things like that, right? I mean...
Yes.
I was been intending that people fly, and lately on TikTok, I've been seeing this guy with like, I don't even know if it's real. Maybe it's real. Anyways, he's got these like, power jets of air from like on his arms, and he's like floating through them. So he's flying, right? So it's crazy.
Yes. So the other story, which was, this is pretty cool too. So this person was trying to manifest contact from SB that they hadn't spoken in 3 months. And, we're going through the affirmations of taking yourself to the moment. What do you want? I want a text from him. Then, well, let's affirm. He texts you right now. He's texting you right now. He wants to know how you're doing. He is missing you, and he wants to know how you're doing. So, we discuss like, what do you do while you're waiting? All these topics that usually come up. And no, you take yourself to the moment every time. And we actually started affirming during the call. We were like, no, it's happening right now. He's thinking about it right now. Like right this second, as we speak, he is thinking about it. And during the session, like she was actually using her phone, walking around the house. And all of a sudden she was like, oh my God, he just texted during the session. He texted during the session. She dropped her phone. It was crazy. She's like, I can't believe it.
That is so amazing. Yes. I mean, well, it is what it is. I mean, but that is so awesome. I've had that so many times, where I'll be talking about, Andrew, and all of a sudden he'll message me, right? I love that. But, the reason is, right, is as soon as you think about somebody, right, then they automatically, because they're you pushed out, they automatically think about you. Right. And obviously she's got no block there with contacting each other. There it is. Or you
Yeah.
guys just got past it with some intentions. I mean, either way, right? You know?
Yes. It's all about changing the perception and how she is. She saw it as something that's so
Right.
simple and so easy. And we even went through, like, I picked up my phone. I'm like, do you know how easy it is to literally pick up your phone and write a text? It takes you like 3 seconds or less. So you need to see it as something that is so easy that it could happen just like this. And it's happening right now. And it actually came through during the session. And then she was like, well, should I answer back or should I just wait for us to, because she wanted to do the play hard to get kind of thing. And I'm like, no, just wait until we're done and then you move on with your conversation with him. And she's like, okay, I'll do that. So it was a very exciting call. And that actually she used that momentum to continue creating, and it just reminded her how powerful she is. It's
Yeah.
that right there was like, it reminded me too, because of course we know this and we believe it, and I believe it, and I live by this, but I jump too. It's like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? You've nailed on something really important. It's like, don't see it as a big deal. Like, see it as something that can happen instantly and that can happen now, and that it's not a huge deal, and I always remind myself of a time that has happened before to kind of get myself in that space. So like, if it's something that I'm creating that I've created before and I'm feeling like it's a bit more challenging, I look back, I'm like, no, I've done this 100 times. I just got to focus on it. It's all great. No, it's going to happen. It always does. Right. So, but you know what, you're totally right. It's when we think that, okay, they don't want to talk to us, or this is so difficult, or so busy, and we're so focused on that we feel that, right? Then that's what kind of blocks it. But when we just drop that story and we're like, no, it's easy, then it does become
it is,
easy,
yeah,
right?
it is super easy. You do it every day, all the time. So he could
Yeah.
easily do it as well. It's just knowing that and believing that and making that your truth. And yeah, so she's actually doing
Exactly.
pretty well.
That is awesome.
Communication is back, so we're good.
Right?
Yes.
So one thing that actually brings me to speak about is like partial manifestations and like birds before land sort of thing. So, I've heard this before. Okay, so I've been, intending that, I see, we'll say Jerry, that, Jerry calls me, but another Jerry calls me, right? And why does this happen? And that's because there's a story blocking the original Jerry. Okay, so basically the statement is, I intend for Jerry to call me. Okay, and then a Jerry calls you, not your Jerry, because the universe went, Jerry needs to call this person. Okay, that Jerry, nope, that's too much resistance, path of least resistance. That other Jerry's free. Okay, he's good. And then, okay, call you. Yeah, okay. So you know what I mean? So that's how the universe will actually create, and manifest your things through the path of least resistance. Because, so when you get a partial manifestation, you're obviously doing your intentions, you're obviously focusing on what you want. There's no doubt there. In fact, you're doing a really good job at it, because you are getting something pulled back into your reality. But your reality is showing you where your blocks are. Okay, because if it's not your Jerry, but it's a different Jerry, then we need to take a look and go, okay, what's going on? Why is that other Jerry not texting me? And, and you actually were talking about that earlier, Carol, about your technique for that.
Yes. Yes, though, because I've had these partial manifestations before, and because what we get is feedback, and that's all we're getting. So it's a matter of, at that moment, if I'm getting feedback, I just have to ask myself, okay, so what did I want instead of that? Well, I wanted the real Jerry to call me, so exactly, you affirm that. No, this one calls me, not the other one. This one does, and it's like using what you have and make it work for you. And it's not just affirming that the right one calls you and using that information to affirm what you want instead, but also using that time to assign meaning to the situation. Like, that only means that the real one is next. You assign meaning to it, and you affirm what you want by using that information that you just got.
Right. You're creating a bridge of incidences with the law of assumption. Let's get all technical here.
Yes. And I think it has worked for me so well, even with the things that I don't necessarily want, is using that feedback and make it work for you and assign the meaning. And even if it's just like, I want to text a loving text, but I don't get the loving text. I only get a, hey, what's up? you know what? Make it mean that he's thinking about you and he just texted you because he's thinking about you and he loves you. You assign meaning to that. Hey, what's up? You use that information and make it work for you always. You know, it's still a manifestation. You still manifested it. You're still powerful. There's no doubt. It's just using that information and make it work for you every time.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. That's, that's exactly how we've got to create. We've got to make everything in our reality mean that it's going to happen. And, we've got to take, we've got to work with where we have our circumstances and our resistance and make it work for us, to our advantage, but I love that. It's like, so that's partial manifestation, right? When you say, well, I intend for Jerry to text me, but someone different does. But what we call it is also birds before land, meaning that, okay, you're doing your intentions and birds before land, you're automatically just making the assumption that, oh, okay, that Jerry messaged me, the wrong one, but that means the other one's going to. Yep. And that's why we call it birds before land, because the land is your manifestation and it's a bird. Okay, it's coming. Okay, it's coming.
Exactly.
So same thing, same thing with, when say you intend marriage and you see that everybody's getting married, but you're not getting the proposal yet. Well, that's bird before land, and make the assumption that now that means it's going to come for you. And, with taking and getting your feedback from your reality, it'll show you where you just need to put some new assumptions, because your feedback and your reality, you can make it work to your advantage. It wants to help you. It's your subconscious mind going, hey, this is what you want, and these are where I need some tweaking. Can you please help me out here? Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So amazing.
Yes.
So amazing. So guys, how do you get instantly a text from somebody is you start affirming how easy it is and how simple it is and how they want to actually text you, and work on, the story about them, right? And talk yourself into that, right? Even visualize them actually doing it. I mean, that's also a really good way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, and as well as, change your self-concept of yourself as well, so you can manifest more than one person, and then you get the choice, and you do that by creating intentions. Like, I always get the choice. I'm a guy magnet. Every guy wants to be with me. I don't want to say any more of these intentions because I really don't want it to happen, but because they're powerful.
They are.
I'll do a few more. Okay, sorry, Andrew. Like, I have no idea why all these guys are calling me all of a sudden. Guys always want to be with me, or girls. You can change this to girls too, right? Mm-hmm. I'm desired by everybody in my reality. What other ones? Those are.
I am worshipped. People are infatuated with me. I mean, we dove in. It was like really good and
really good, eh?
And it worked.
Right. Well, there's a few intentions. If you would like more, definitely check out the link in the description below. Carol is available for coaching. Definitely check it out. Thank you so much for being here today, Carol. Amazing.
Thank you for having me. Bye, everybody.
Yeah. And guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.